Yes, good morning. Savva here from Football Heritage TV. Hope that everyone is well, and I'm sure you appreciated not seeing this ugly face all of Saturday. Just wanted to take 24 hours off. A lot of streaming last week. Werner coming in, Dragoshin coming in. Tottenham beating Burnley in the Cup. There was a lot going on. So we've had a day off, and now we're going to have a lot going on in the next couple of weeks. We have got Man United today at Old Trafford. It used to be the theatre of dreams for Man United, but it isn't so much anymore. But they have just beaten Aston Villa there. So you never know with Man U what you're going to get. But we'll be looking into the Tottenham game today, 4:30 kickoff. And we'll also have a live watch-along at 3:30. Thank you very much. Thank you. Sorry, just getting a cup of tea in a mug that says, hey, good looking. So, look, you know, it's a good day. What a way to start the day. Good morning to each and every one of you. We'll look forward to the Man United game. We'll look back at some of the Premier League results from the last few days. Stewie, see you later. For the last few days. And we will look forward to the Man City FA Cup game. I still remember everyone's saying they want to play City. I don't know how anyone is watching City and thinking, yeah, we want to play that right now. But we'll get into that as well. So what's happening today? We know, don't we? We know that we go to Man United. We are currently second in the form table. So we are second in the form table behind Man City, level on points actually with Chelsea. So Tottenham and Chelsea are sitting second and third, respectively, in the form table. Man City are top. And then we look down. Man United are 17th. They've taken 4 points from their last 15 available. So that was a win. That was a win at home to Villa and a draw away at Liverpool. So it's almost like they're beating the difficult teams or getting points against the difficult teams, but dropping points against the lesser teams, the Nottingham Forests of this world, the Bournemouths of this world. So it's all very, very, very interesting. It's because of that, I just don't know where to sit for today's game. I don't know where I sit with this. On paper, you'd look at it saying, yeah, we should absolutely batter them. But to be fair, we haven't absolutely battered anyone other than Newcastle since August. So I'm really not sure. It's got to be a game for me. I know this is going to sound really obvious where we have chances. I think it's about taking them. Do we take our chances? This is the big thing for me. And in recent years gone by, we have not been taking our chances. And for me, this is really what we must improve. Is that going to improve today with Werner probably going straight into the 11? It looks like it's going to be Werner, Richie and Johnson. Because, look, the team news kind of came out on Friday. Now, a lot of this I take with a pinch of salt. Sorry, bear with me 1 second. God, it's freezing today. That is much needed. A lot of this I take with a pinch of salt. When they come out on the Friday and go, oh, he's not available, and he's not available, and he's not available, and he's not available. And then you get to the game and it's like, hang on, he's on the bench, and he's on the bench. But if we're going to take Pochettino at face value, it looks like we know Son, Basuma, and Saul. We know they're gone. We know there's no chance of that. AFCON and the Asian Cup. We then look at it. He's saying to us that Romero is still out. Maddison is still out. Solomon is still out. And we know Perisic is out. Lo Celso and Ben Davis are also out. So it looks like the team will be, I might be wrong. I don't think I will be, but it looks like the team is going to be Vicario in goal, Porro, Dragoshin, or Royale and Van de Ven with a Doggy at left back. Then you've got the question, is it Skip or Højbjerg? I think he'll go with Skip. I think it will be Skip, Bentancur, Kulu. I just don't know who else he's got that can go in there unless he plays Skip and Højbjerg. I just don't think he will. And then the three, you've got four forwards that are fit, and one of them is Brian Hill. So I think it will be Werner straight in, Richie down the middle, and Brennan Johnson to the right with Brian Hill on the bench. So you've got, then your bench is looking like Hill, Højbjerg, Royale, Dorrington, Donnelly, Santiago, Sessegnon, Forster. So there's not going to be a lot off the bench. There really isn't going to be a lot off the bench. Hopefully in the next 2-3 weeks when everyone starts coming back, it will look a lot stronger. So look, let me, as always, let me go to some comments. I haven't gone to anyone's comments yet, so I will do that. Big up to you all. Please smash the like button as you come in. The link is pinned to subscribe as we chase down 13K. We're nearly at 13K. It's been a very busy couple of weeks on here. So good morning to BVB David. Big up to you. Borussia Dortmund were very good last night and Sancho came on and played very, very well. It's amazing. A bit of confidence, a manager putting his arm around you. It's the difference a player can make. John Clark said, morning, Savva. How are you feeling about the game? Will be more or less confident when I see the teams. Absolutely. I think I want to see the teams. Look, should we have enough to beat Man United? Well, yeah, we can. But it's still Man United away. It's still Old Trafford. So I still approach this game with the respect that I think we should give other teams. We'll talk about that a bit later. Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne is back with a bang. I mean, absolute frightening for Man City at the moment. We'll get into that a bit later. I know people are going to do this whole, we've beaten them a few times lately. They've also beaten us a few times lately. And, you know, De Bruyne won't be fit. And look, we saw yesterday what a non-fit Kevin De Bruyne does to a team. And we've been giving up chances. So I do worry, but we'll go to that later. Good morning to Mario. Big up to you. Channel member Mario 2012. Good morning to you. And yes, indeed, it is match day. It does feel like a very, very, very long time ago that we played. I know it was only, was it 9 days ago, 10 days ago? But it feels like a lifetime ago. LB 1998 said, if Ange plays the highline at Old Trafford with United's pace, I'm afraid we'll lose. I do think that's where they're going to get at us. But let's be brutally honest. This is where all teams will try and get at us. That's, as Sean says, it's the bitter with the better. Yeah, we play this high line, we play this expansive football, you are going to get caught. It's about us minimising them having as many opportunities as possible. Bournemouth, Brighton, Everton, all of these teams had so many chances. Can we let Rashford and Garnacho have that many? I don't know. They're very hit and miss as well. So it's going to be an interesting game. I don't think this is going to be goalless. I don't know what anyone else thinks. I think there's going to be goals in this game. Mario's gone and said, Man U 1, Mighty Spurs 3. That'll be a lovely scoreline. Mazza, another channel member, said, big up Savva in the chat. Big up to you, Mazza. Hope you are well. Video complete. Sofiane said, I'm going for 6-1 Spurs. Martial to get a red card. Oh, I think someone's rolling back the years to when Jose was in charge, aren't they? Man U said, hey, Savva, let's smash Spurs. Okay. Yes, I did. I did see it. Yes, I watched a lot of football yesterday. Yes, I did see it. Good morning. Good morning to Nige from Pure Coys. How you doing, brother? Hope you are well. Are you still getting your coat? Nigel know what that means. Please keep smashing the like button. Smash the subscribe button. We've got a big day of streaming ahead for you. Just so you know, we have got the following. Only 54 likes, by the way. 54 likes, over 200 of you in here at the moment and growing. Smash the likes. We've got this show this morning. Then I'm going to go and walk the dogs. And then we've got 3:30 for a watch along for all the team news, all the build up. Then we'll have obviously the live watch along is that show. And then at 9:30 tonight, we have got the Spurs review. 9:30, give the game a bit of time to settle. Sean and Henry have got their show at 8. So please pop over there and watch that. And then join us at 9:30. That would be amazing. We finished this now. I said the good news versus Man United. They don't have De Bruyne in their team. It's scary how good this boy is at football, isn't it? Like, you think he's been out for 5 months and he just comes back and looks like a Rolls Royce. And that's the difference, isn't it? Josh Gain, big up to you, Josh. 7-0 Spurs. Cool, I'd love a 7-0. Don't know if we've got the goal scorers for a 7-0. We'll see. Big up to Dan Skyline. Good morning to you. Good morning to TNT. Yes, it is match day. Bob Down Under has said game rumours. Kulu out, Romero in, Maddison on the bench. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people saying that Maddison will be back on the bench. Listen, I'm all for these players coming back early. I just hope that they are fit. I hope that we're not just rushing them back because we've got injuries and suspensions. Just because that's the worst way to get players injured. If you notice, like De Bruyne has been training with Man City for 4 weeks, and they gave him a few minutes in the cup. Then he had 25 minutes yesterday. You know, for me, I think it's about gradual integrating him back into the team gradually. But let's hope some of those rumours are true. Dan is not sure about today's game. It's going to be tough. I'm going to tell you now, it's going to be tough. I've seen a lot of people have gone with some crazy scorelines this year for every game we play. And I'll say the same that I say for them. I'll say the same that I've said in those games in this game. I think this is going to be tougher than people think. I don't think Man U are great, but I do think they're going to dig their heels in. And we saw what they're capable of at Liverpool when they dig their heels in. Good morning to Anna Dawes, who's a channel member. Good morning to you, Anna. She said she's looking forward to the match. Wonder if we see the new boys playing. I reckon both are going to have to go straight into the team, Anna. I'll be surprised if we don't see at least one of them will start. I'll be surprised though if we don't see two. But let's keep an eye on that one. Good morning to Mark Cook, another channel member. Good morning to you, sir. Good morning to another channel member, John Ellis Hall. Said, oi, Savva. I'm looking forward to beating United today. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Got him. It's a really important game. City are winning. Liverpool are winning. Aston Villa play before us today. That could be interesting. They play Everton. Everton are in awful form. If they beat Everton, then they're going to pull clear as well. So it's a very big game if you want to keep on the coattails of the big boys. The same applies for Villa in their game, by the way. It's a big game for them if they want to keep on the coattails. But everyone knows my opinion. I've said all season that I do think Liverpool and City will start to pull away from the rest in the next 5, 6, 7 games. Liverpool, we'll look at the table in a minute, actually. We'll look at the table in a minute. Big up to Meow, Cover. Big up to you from Australia. I hope you are well over there. TNT said, I hope you beat us, Savva. That Man United fan asking to be beaten. Is that so that Ten Hag can get the sack? Is that what we're going for here? Martin said, I like the haircut, Savva. Thank you. Yeah, normally it looks better when I've got some wax in it, but I just don't put wax in unless I'm going out anywhere these days. Getting old, need to preserve my hair so it doesn't all fall out. TNT has said, so I can see our top Reds have a meltdown seeing us beneath Chelsea. Yeah, Chelsea are just starting to win games in a row, aren't they, Chelsea? For all the hate that Pochettino's getting, they're sitting level with Spurs in the form table, and they are moving up that table. We will have a look at that in a minute. Alexander Castro said, any thoughts on Matters being on the team bus? Possibly on the bench. Possibly. Only if he's fit, though, for me. Let's just hope we're not rushing players back for the sake of rushing them back. Alfie Hall said, hey, Savva, the City game was class. That's a sign of champions, but some Spurs fans want to play them. Yeah, Alfie, look, I'm going to be brutally honest. I thought they were absolutely superb yesterday. That's complete domination. Now, yes, you can get at them at the back. And I would feel that way if we had an Anthony Gordon or an Isak, but we don't. If we had Son in that game, I'd feel that. But I don't know. I think it's ominous. City are on fire. And everyone's going, they're not that good this season. They're on fire. So, don't know. We'll see. Not saying we can't beat them. I just think it's just a horrible game. No one wants that. Shem Tan said, hey, Sav, hope you're doing well. Can someone explain what we've done to make Spurs fans so arrogant and superior about how we're going to kill Man U? We've lost the last 24 of 31. Look, for me, listen, I hear you. For me, I think it's the same thing. What happens is you get the same people every game who say we're going to smash everyone. Then when we don't, they double down on it. The next game, we're going to smash everyone. Listen, we can beat Man U. Of course we can. Of course we can beat Man United. But, you know, listen, I think the thing is, if you predict something enough, at some point it's going to happen. So if they say 4-0 today and it's not, they can say 4-0 Brentford. It could be, right? And they go, see, we're going to smash everyone. I just think it's about acknowledging few injuries, few suspensions. They have as well. But it's acknowledging that and saying a win's a win. If we can get a win, you get a win. But I do think everyone's going a little bit overboard with how good we are and how we can put teams away. We've not shown it this season that we can do it. We've not shown that we can do it regularly. We've not shown we can do it consistently, and that's fine. But I get it. Fans just excited. They're loving this season. It's fine. You know, got a really good thing going on. We've got a we've got a plan. We've got a philosophy. It's looking positive, but it's gonna be a tough game. It's gonna be a very, very tough game. Northern Spurs said Romero will start. I think if they start Romero and Van de Ven together, I'd be slightly worried. Two players that haven't played for months suddenly starting together. I don't know. I think that would be a bit of a nightmare. Big up. I'll try and get to every comment. There are a lot though, so I might not be able to. What I will ask is there are 315 of you in here and only 83 likes. Smash that like button. And let's get a couple of subscribers, shall we? I'm sure some of you haven't. The link is pinned. I'll put it in the chat again now. And just to confirm, before anyone gets confused, it is absolutely free to subscribe. There is no cost to it at all. There's no hidden costs. It's absolutely free to subscribe. Where are we? There we are. There we go. So the link has been put back in there. I'm gonna try and go to a few comments sporadically here because there's so many. AF in Oz has said opposition pace is why we signed VDV and Dragushin. Yeah, I mean Dragushin's not the quickest. He's not a slouch, but he's not the quickest. Definitely for VDV. But game one, when you're coming back from a hamstring injury, you can't leave too much pace in behind for Garnacho and Rashford. You surely don't want to get Van de Ven's hamstring working overtime in game one. That's all I would say. So I think they'll manage that situation. Tony said a 2-1 Spurs with a Timo with an 88th minute winner. Timo Werner with an 88th minute winner. That would be great debut for him. That would be as well, wouldn't it? So let's hope that happens. Well, let's hope that we don't need the last minute winner. But Sarah says, Sav, you're concerned with Timo starting. I've not got a concern with Timo starting. I think he's got to start. I don't think I've said I've got a concern with him starting games. You've brought him in. This is Postecoglou's player. Get him in. Get the best out of him. That's what Postecoglou's paid for, and that's why we've got Werner in. So get him straight in, get him scoring goals, and let's get it happening. Jamie 1991 said, I want to feel confident, Savva, going into this game with Romero and VDV back. I'm going 2-1. Yeah, a lot of 2-1s. A lot of 2-1s going on. Yeah, I can see that. I've gone for 2-2. I don't know why. I've had that feeling all week. I've got the same feeling I had when we went to Arsenal, and I said 2-2 all week that week. Doesn't mean that because I was right on that occasion, I'll be right on this occasion. But I just got 2-2. Hope I'm wrong. I just got a feeling. I've got a feeling that they're going to grab goals against us. So today is a game for me of who's clinical enough. Good morning, Philly. How you doing, bro? I said this game means nothing. I'm more worried for the cup. Bob the Builder, less of that man. Yeah, listen. Look, I mean, two big games coming up. This game. Look, I'll tell you what we'll do, Philly. I'll put the league table up in a minute, and we'll have a look at what today's game means, shall we? Brandon is saying he's not confident at all. He's feeling a bit Spursy. Oh, the old Spursy word is back, is it? Foggy Foam said Kulu is with the squad. Yeah, Kulu will play centre mid, I think. He'll play as the attacking midfielder of the three, for sure. I just don't think there's any other options. No Lo Celso, no Maddison, no Sarr, no Basuma. So unless he goes for the combative three in Basuma, Højbjerg, Skip, and Bentancur, and then Kulu out wide with one of the others sitting on the bench. I don't think he'll do that though, but we'll see. We'll know all of these answers. We'll know in about 5 hours' time when the teams come out. According to Football Insider, I cannot see that Santiago Jimenez is available for 30 million in January. I just can't see it. He's their top goal scorer. He's bagged in goals for fun. I cannot see that they will let him go for 30 million pounds. I'd love this to be true. And if it is, snap him up. I just don't think it's going to be true. I really, really don't think it's going to be true. Do you? 76, Mad Matt said, with a full team, we win hands down. With all that's missing, I'm 50-50. Yeah, definitely got more chance with a full team out. I mean, look, they've got a lot of injuries as well. We've got to remember that. This is a game where both clubs have got loads of injuries, suspensions, and stuff like that. So let's see what happens. Billy Wilson Neil has said, morning, Sav. Massive day for us today. If we want to make top four, these are the games we have to win. I agree. These are important games. As I said, I think it's going to be a battle between Tottenham, Villa, and Arsenal for third, fourth, and fifth. That's where I think we've put ourselves into that position. But this is the time of the year where you see, right? It's the back end of the season where who can put a run together. You know City will. You know Liverpool will. Are the other three capable of doing it and staying in that pack? That's the question. That's the question mark. Arsenal were very good with it last year till about March and then tailed off. And that's why I never take anything for granted. I know people want me to sit here and go, yeah, we're definitely winning titles. I know that. I know people think I'm a lesser fan for that. But until I see something proven, I don't believe in it. Same way I tell the Arsenal fans, stop talking about winning a title. You've not done it. Get over the line and win it. I'll give you more praise. Then next season, I'll say Arsenal is serious. Some missing is huge. More so against Man City. Some missing is huge. His pace would terrify them. But, not just his pace. It's his clinical finishing as well. But, big up to Mazza. So Man United are our bogey team, especially at Old Trafford. I mean, look, it's Old Trafford. Even if Man U are out of form, look what they did to Villa. 2-0 down, came back and won the game 3-2. Villa played a high-ish line, not as high as ours, and Man U exploited it time and time again. Hopefully, we've watched that and we've learned, because otherwise they will get in behind, and we can't keep asking Vicario to bail us out game after game. GKD has said people need to remember as well, if VDV starts, that's two players in VDV and Bentancur who are still getting match fitness back versus a United side. Can't have too many. GKD, bang on, mate. Absolutely bang on, GKD. I think this is really, really important. This is why when I saw someone yesterday say, well, against City, start Romero, Maddison, Bentancur, and VDV, and I thought all four of them have come back from big injuries. Do you want all four of them in the same game against Man City, where you're literally going to be chasing the football for 90 minutes? I mean, if you look at yesterday's game, I thought, don't get me wrong, I thought Newcastle did very well on the counter-attack, right? They did very, very well on the counter-attack. But they had 24% of the football, which means that if Man City have got it for 76% of the game, you are chasing the ball for 76% of the game. You're getting tired. You're being pulled about. You're closing down. You're pressing. We will be burnt out if we play too many of the kind of 50-50 injury players at once. Big decisions to be made. But that is a problem for 12 days' time, not for today. Bobby Andrews, big up, Bobby. How you doing, bro? Has said, James Maddison won't be back today. Let's not rush him. I agree. I think we've got enough to do these today. If they don't turn up, we get the job done. I've got a sneaky feeling 2-2. Would you take it? I've said 2 all week. I can't be clearer. I want to be wrong. I've just had 2-2. I don't know why. I've got a high-scoring draw in there. I'm not saying we can't score goals, but I do think we give away so many chances. So many chances. Z Gould, I believe, is a Man United fan. Big up to you, Z. Said, big up Savva. I don't know where this confidence from Spurs fan is coming from. Yes, we're not great, but have Spurs watched their last 3 games? Talk about smashing people at their ground. Listen, I agree. I think a lot of the confidence has come from that. I think we're doing a lot better than people thought. Everyone likes, in the main, our style of play. In the main, I don't think it's been there the last 6, 7, 8 games, if I'm brutally honest. But we are picking up points even when we're not playing well. So I think that's where the confidence comes from. I agree with you, though. I do think that I keep seeing people saying we're going to smash everyone. And then when you actually go back and look at our results, I'm looking at the results here. We beat Burnley by the odd goal. Bournemouth was 3-1. Everton was 2-1. Other than Newcastle at 4-1, I don't know where we're going to smash everyone's coming from, because we haven't smashed anyone other than Burnley and Newcastle. But listen, that's not to say we can't. I'm not saying we can't. I just think sometimes a little bit of respect put onto other teams is what's needed. Savva, do you think Timo Werner will do well? I guess the question with Timo Werner is, what does that mean? When we say, will he do well, what are the expectations from me or you as a fan for him to do well. Listen, Postecoglou wanted him. This is his guy. He's got him. Go and, proof of the pudding is in the eating, as my mum used to say. Proof of the pudding. Zia said Chelsea are playing crap, though. When United were doing this, we were saying that's not sustainable. It's the same for them. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Chelsea are playing that crap. If you actually watch them, they can't finish their dinner. I watched them yesterday against Fulham. I don't know how many chances they won. I don't know how many chances Chelsea won. Listen, I'm not going to die on a hill for Chelsea. I think Chelsea and Man United have both got some issues they need to sort out for sure. But I don't think anything's ever as bad as what people think it is, or ever as good as what people think it is. It probably lies in the middle, right? If we're doing, it's brilliant, it's shit, it probably lays somewhere in here. But the emotion of being a football fan doesn't allow us to do that. The emotion makes us go, it's dreadful, it's brilliant. And that's the life of a football fan, right? So it is what it is. I can see a nice little conversation between Bobby and Z is brewing up in the chat. Big up to Blaine Dev. Blaine Dev said you've been a new member. I thought you were a member before, weren't you? And then it says you were a member for 4 months. Either way, thank you for all your support. You're always very generous, Blaine Dev. So thank you very much. I think it was probably you renewing your membership. But big up to you. Really do appreciate you, mate. And you're always very generous in this community in general. So thank you very much. Where are we? AKK has said, good morning, Savva, and all. Liked and subscribed. Exciting times for you lot. You'll never walk alone. We've got Liverpool fans subscribing. If we've got Liverpool fans subscribing, the Spurs fans have got no excuses to subscribe as we head towards 13K. And smash the like button. There's 415 of you in here, and there's only 123 likes. Come on, we should be at 250 by now. Let's, as Richard Pugh would say, can we have a like party? Leo Manish, big up Leo. I said, Savva, who do you think should start in midfield? I don't think he's got options. I think this picks itself. The only question for me is, does he go with Højbjerg or Skip? Now, I would go with Højbjerg. I don't rate him, but I don't rate Skip more. But I think the story that his team selections have been telling is that Højbjerg won't be at this football club for long. So I think it's just going to be Skip, Bentancur, Kulu. And that midfield is going to be, for me, whether we win or lose the game. The last 4 or 5 games, our midfield's been run through very easily by Brighton, Everton, Bournemouth. We've got to make sure we don't let that happen today. Now, I'm not sitting here for 1 second suggesting Man United have got a brilliant midfield, but teams move it very quickly through midfield against us, and then they're through on goal. So, listen, I'm really intrigued for today's game. I really, really am. I don't know. We could go and smash them. I just think it's going to be tough. I really do. Mappin has said, your thoughts on Oscar Bob. What a brilliant footwork he showed yesterday. And KDB, his return is shaking the Prem. Yeah, Oscar Bob, I've watched him 3 or 4 times this year. That's a footballer. That is a proper skillful footballer. Great footwork, brilliant technique. He's got pace as well. And City, again, just bringing these players through. Wonderful goal he scored. Absolute wonderful goal. I haven't seen a better pass all season than that ball from De Bruyne. But the footwork to finish it off was absolutely stellar from Oscar Bob. And then the goal De Bruyne scored. I mean, who else scores that in the Premier League? You know, he's different, isn't he, that boy? He's different. Josh Dean has said, do you think Van der Ven is in danger when using his recovery pace for Rashford? Yes. This is my worry. Someone coming back from the hamstring injury and then having to do the recovery runs at the back. We'll have to monitor it for sure. We really will have to monitor it for sure, because that is where they're going to try and hit us. It's obvious, right? It's obvious. If you were the manager, you would say, right, come on, we know how to get in behind Spurs. We've got weapons that they're going to have to monitor, but I'm looking at it from an opposing perspective, if you will. Joe said, if Werner is hot this month, does Son start on the bench? No. 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 When Sonny's fit, Sonny goes in this team. He's our best forward by a country mile. I don't care who's on form. This guy is our best forward by a mile. I don't think any of the others touch him. I don't think any of the others are even 50% as good as Son. So not for me, Joe. I think the moment he's back, he's straight in that 11. You know it. I know it. The players know it. I think everyone knows it. Thank you to the 2 people that just subscribed as well. Really do appreciate that. And thank you. The likes are slowly going up. But big up to Tigaro, who's always very generous. Thank you, Tigaro, over there in Australia. Said, Sav, I finally figured it out. You don't have auto-renew on the memberships. That's why old members come up as new. That will make sense. That makes sense, Tigaro. So, yes, thank you. Yes, I probably should sort that out. But I always want to give people the option because it's people's money. I don't, I do this for free and stuff like so. I don't want people spending their money unless they want to. But Tigaro, thank you so much for that. Really, really do appreciate that, my friend. And you've always been very generous towards me since I started this channel. So thank you. Ahmed has said, can you please take back Dyer? He is an absolute waste of space at my club. And Tommy tap out Tuchel is a clown. I mean, has he even been on your bench yet? No, mate, you're all right. We've been trying to get rid of this guy for a few years. By the way, Ahmed, I know it wasn't you, but when I did a show with a Bayern Munich fan in the summer before Kane went, I remember you had one fan who was adamant that you don't want Kane. You need better. He's not the right player for you lot. How are Bayern Munich fans feeling about Mr. Harold Edward Kane right now? How are you feeling about him? He's not bad, is he? He does like to score goals. Big up to Uncle Disraeli, who said Sancho reportedly playing well for Dortmund already. I saw him come on. He looked energized. And as I always say, sometimes it's the right player, wrong manager, or wrong manager, right player for a club, wrong tactics, wrong team. Sometimes it all just fits perfectly. And sometimes if you get a bit of an arm put around you, show a bit of love to a player. I think that should be a management style in all walks of life, right? Put your arm around someone, metaphorically. Hey, I believe in you. This is why you're here. This is what I want from you. I don't know whether Ten Hag's got that in his arsenal. I don't know. I don't know if it's part of his makeup. Mr. Euro, big up to you. Good morning to you. More than welcome to be here. Wayne Fairclough has said 2-0 to United. Sorry, Wayne, 2-0 to United. Are you Spurs? Are you not Spurs? If it doesn't matter, why? What do you think they're going to have over us today? Interested to know. I think, have I seen Strasbourg Steve in the house? Did I see Strasbourg Steve? Or am I making that up? I might be making it up. Loads of you in here. There's over 425 people in the house. Good morning to you. Everyone excited for match day. Just under 6 hours till kickoff. 5 hours till team news. And only 161 likes. Smash the likes, people. You know the rules. Pay your YouTube rent with a like. Big up Video Complete Sofiane. I said, I don't want Ivan Toney at Spurs. I think 100 million is a lot of money. Would rather spend 70 million. Listen, for me, I'm at the stage where, look, we can talk about money as fans. We know Daniel Levy's not going to spend 100 million on a player. We know that. I've been hearing for years that at some point he has to, but we've never come close to spending 100 million on a player. I can't believe that if Ivan Toney does move, I can't believe that we'll get him. I think the other clubs will offer a bigger transfer fee and better salary. I think he's got Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United written all over him, if I'm brutally honest. But interesting theory. Thank you for that. Mark said we must retain possession a lot better today than we have been. The midfield lately, even with Bentancur going back in there, the amount we've been giving that ball away and letting teams just come back at us. And I've said it on panel shows and people are going, oh, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, no, it really does. Look, when you watch the biggest teams, when you watch the best teams that win things, retaining possession is something they do brilliantly. You watch Man City yesterday. Yes, as I said, you can hit them on the counter-attack. But when they get in their stride, like look at that second half yesterday. It was complete and utter domination. They couldn't get the ball off Man City. If we have a look at it, right? If you have a look at that game yesterday, in the first half, Man City had 69% of the ball away from home. In the second half, they had 79% of the ball. Now, if you've got the ball, you make the other team tired and you have less opportunities of conceding. That's the worry. That is the worry. That's what we need to aspire to. I truly believe that. Daniel Harris, big up you, handsome devil you, Daniel Harris. Said, big up, Savva. I don't think we're as good as fans think. And I don't think Man U are as bad as they think on their day. 2-2. I agree with this. I agree with this. As I said, I don't think things are ever as good or as bad in life as we think. In moments, everything's shit or everything's amazing. But as I said, it balances out somewhere in here at the end of the day. Now, we could go and batter them 5-0, 10 I'll get sacked, and you go, well, it was bad for them. They could batter us 5-0, and we go, oh, God, it was bad. But I do think you're right. I think it will be somewhere in the middle. Foxy, I said, proud of our performance versus City. Expect to lose with such a lack of options from the bench and no DM. De Bruyne will punish you if you allow him to. Yeah, do you know what, Foxy? Look, the grit and determination from Newcastle was absolutely excellent. I do feel like it was coming, though, right? I do feel that in that second half, it was chance after chance after chance. And you know, you had Alvarez missed that sitter. Your keeper made a couple of good low saves, and it just felt like it was coming. It felt like it was coming. But as you said, I thought you gave a good account of yourselves. And I've got a feeling Spurs will need to do the same when we play them in the FA Cup. They've got players all over the pitch that can hurt you. And when you look at it, the worrying thing for me is that when Rodri is on form like he was yesterday, he runs a game of football like no other midfielder in the Premier League. Like when the Arsenal fans were trying to tell me that Declan Rice, nah, go away. Nowhere near. Declan Rice is 50% of the player of Rodri. But yeah. Video complete. Sofiane said Isaac is younger than Tony and he's cheaper. Yeah, I can't imagine how much he would be, though. I mean, what are they going to command for Isak? And is he going to leave? He's just joined. We'll see. Z Gould said, come on, Savva, the game yesterday was terrible. I mean, Chelsea had 21 shots in the game. Like, they create, they can't score, Z. There's a huge difference. I'm not saying they're brilliant at all. But again, like Daniel and I were just talking about, I don't think it's as bad as people make out. It's the same. When Spurs win a game, everyone goes, oh, it's brilliant and it's Ange ball. It's not always Ange ball. Sometimes it's scrappy wins. But as we said, it's people going either there or there. There's no sort of rationale into these football chats. I agree with you. Daniel said it all season. Chelsea will be there or thereabouts. I'll tell you what we'll do before we go to some super chats. Let's have a look at the league table, shall we? And this will show exactly what I mean. Hang on. Sorry, I always like to get the top 11 in for Ryan Griffiths. I don't know if Ryan's in here today, but I always like to get the top 11 in so that Ryan gets his Wolverhampton Wanderers into the picture. So you're welcome, Ryan, if you are indeed watching. When you look at this league table, look, it's a big game in terms of keeping on the coattails, right? So this is going to be our game. This will mean today we've played one more game than the four above us. So if you lose it and then those four win their game in hand, you start to tail away. So it's a big game. It is a big game. Liverpool, let's have a look. We'll have a look at some of these teams, shall we? So if we look at Liverpool's fixtures, just league, I'm not going to go cup games. Liverpool have got Bournemouth away next week, followed by Chelsea at home, Arsenal away, Burnley at home, Brentford away. So a couple of tricky ones in there for Liverpool. Then you look at Man City. Just league games, by the way. So Man City's next, I'm looking at Man City's next 5-6 league games. They've got Burnley at the Etihad, Brentford away, Everton at the Etihad, Chelsea at the Etihad, Brentford at the Etihad, Bournemouth away. I think they're going to win all 6. And then the 7th game is Man United at the Etihad. I think they're going to win all 7 of them. I truly believe they're going to go on a run now and win 10, 12 in a row. And then you look at Aston Villa. Let's see what Aston Villa have got coming up. Aston Villa's fixtures, they've got Everton today, followed by Chelsea away, Newcastle home, United home, Sheffield United away. So there's a few wins in there, a couple of tricky ones, but I would suggest they'll win most of those. And then you've got them lot down the road. Where are they? Arsenal, who are 14th in the form table. And Arsenal have got Palace at home. You would expect them to probably win that. Forest away, Liverpool at home, West Ham away, Burnley away. So a few tricky ones in there, but you would expect them to get a few. Now, Tottenham, what have we got? This is what we've got to do if we want to keep in that mix, right? We've got Man United today, followed by Brentford at home, which I fully expect to win. Followed by Everton away, which I fully expect to win. Followed by Brighton at home and Wolves at home. So there's winnable games there for Tottenham. There's winnable games there. But today is a big day in terms of if you want to really be in that pack, right? If you really want to be in that pack. If we don't win today and Liverpool and Man City then win their game in hand over us, they'll be 7 and 9 points clear of us respectively. So the reason I'm saying all this, it shows the magnitude of this game of football. And then what you were saying there about Chelsea, look, they're just tucked in there in 8th, 3 points off the Europa League already. Chelsea have won 4 of their last 5. It's going to be interesting. I fully expect Chelsea will finish in the European spots. As I've always said, it's not what you do at the beginning of the season that counts. It's what you do in this back half of the season that matters. So yeah, just some interesting perspectives there. I like to go a bit deeper, have a little look, see what's going on. But big game. Win today, and it just gives the others above us a bit of a nudge to say, we're not going anywhere, we're here. Pochettino said, let's be brutally honest, we should have lost 4 of our last 5 games. Our brilliant keeper and a poor finishing by opponent. I do agree with that. Not that we should have lost 4 or 5 of them, but I do think that Vicario has made a lot of our results look better than they are. He really, really has stood up and been counted. Young Lee says, Skip is terrible. I'm sorry. I don't want to see that go on my team again. I've got a feeling you're going to see him today. I've got a feeling. Young Lee Scott, said this for years. He shouldn't be at Tottenham. People were telling me, oh, Postecoglou will get the best out of him. This is a manager. This is a future captain. I don't know what they're watching, but he's just not as good as some people think. I'm going to try and catch up a little bit. Potomac, again, this is interesting. I said, Ange football is a gamble. Score or get punished. We've not been scoring loads, and we've been lucky with our opponent's poor finishing. Sure, there is an element of that, but there is also an element of players being out injured, players being suspended. There's also an element of what happens if we click and if we start putting teams to the sword. I get you. I like to look at all scenarios. By the way, there's 501 of you in here and only 191 likes. That is mad. There's over 310 of you that have not smashed a button that is free and really, really helps me out. By the way, let's see if we can get, shall we see? There we go. Look, we are now 248 away from 13K. Can we get this by the end of the show closer to 12,775? 23 more. It's a big ask, but please, the link is pinned in the chat and I'm putting it in there again now. That would be great. George, big up to you, Mr. Rathis. Hope you're well, buddy. Said, yeah, I am good, thank you. Said, would you start Dragoshin today? I would. I would absolutely have him straight in. No messing about. Get him in. Yeah, absolutely. I don't really want to see Emerson Royals play for Tottenham. If I'm brutally honest. Let's go to some of the super chats, shall we? Orox Beats has come in and said, new FFP rules. Villa need to sell. Watkins for us. Villa need to sell? Have Villa broken many FFP rules? I don't remember them. I don't remember Villa spending huge amounts. Is this true? I haven't seen this. Are you? I mean, what? They're not going to sell Ollie Watkins. Let's be brutally honest. They're not going to sell Ollie Watkins. They're sitting third in the Premier League table. They're not going to sell one of the Premier League's best strikers. I think we need to be, hang on, let's have a look at this. Ollie Watkins has got 9 league goals and 8 assists this season. He's got 17 goal contributions in, let's see how many games he's played in the cut in 20. They're not going to sell him. Let's be brutally honest. And if they did, it would be so much money. Daniel Levy's not going to entertain that. Villa are not going to entertain that. I wish they would, Oryx Beats. I really do. Thank you for the super chat. You've come back in again here and said, big up Savva, big up to you. Aside from the match, who would you sign this window out of these players? Eze, Gallagher, Coop Miners, Hackney. I'll be honest, I'd go in that order. Eze, I'd love, again, I can't see Daniel Levy being that ambitious. I can't see Spurs being that ambitious. I would love Eze. I think it's the profile of footballer that we've been lacking at this club. Bit of a magician, him or Elise, someone that can get on the ball and out of nothing just creates. I don't think we've got, other than James Maddison, I don't think we've got players like that from around the pitch. So for me, that order. Conor Gallagher's an interesting one. They put a stat up about him yesterday, by the way. They put a stat up about Conor Gallagher during the Chelsea game. Of all Europe's top 5 leagues, Conor Gallagher has the most touches in an opponent's box, has made the most tackles, the most interceptions, the most successful dribbles, and also the most chances created and shots taken. Not bad for a bloke that a lot of people say is negative and only passes sideways. Not bad at all. Big up to Mario 2012. Very kind as always. He has gifted a channel membership, and that channel membership looks like it was gifted to Uncle Disraeli. Obviously, that was an automatic generation, but thank you so much, Mario 2012, for that. That's very kind of you. And if you do get a channel membership gifted to you, you get it for a month. And then after that, you have to decide if you want to pay to keep it or not. You don't have to at all. But Mario, thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Very generous. Tigaro, again, coming in with another generous donation, saying, Dyer in the crowd is enough to set off the Germans. It's a baffling signing. It stinks of panic for me. Now, I know that Bayern are trying to buy a right back. I think they're in talks with Boye of Galatasaray and of Mukiel of PSG. But it just screams of panic. Look, if he's there just purely as a utility player, fair enough. Otherwise, yeah, it just seems a real strange one, mate. But, hey, rather them than us. So big up. Thank you very much for the super chat. And Blaine Dev with a really, really generous super chat here. I said excited about our backline for the first time in months, but nervous at the same time. No matter who we play today, it's a new back 4. Also, questions over our creativity from midfield. I'll take a draw. Blaine Dev, if we break that down, I tell you what, when everyone is fit, it's great. We've got options at the back. For the first time in decades, options. You know, we had that great defence with Rose, Walker, out of Ireland, Vertonghen, but no options behind them. Now starting to create options. For me, the next thing I do is I would get a fullback that can cover right and left. A really good fullback that can cover both. Rotate with Porro, rotate with a doggy for Europe next season. Our creativity. Yeah, look, obviously without Maddison, without Son, it does beg the question about creativity. So again, when people say we're just going to smash them, I don't know. I don't know. I've predicted a draw. Blaine Dev, I know that you think the same as me. I hope we're wrong, brother. I really hope we're wrong. I hope we smash them to pieces. But I have had 2 in my mind all week, and I'd be a hypocrite if I changed that now. So I'm happy to be wrong on that one. But thank you so much. Always generous, and it's always appreciated. And here's one of my favourites, Ren. How are you doing, Ren? Is that a changed picture of a new Spurs shirt? I said, Ren has become a YouTube member. Big up to you. Thank you so much for your support. Really, really, really appreciate it. Always positive in the chat. Always here to support. So thank you so much for that, Ren. We really do appreciate it. Where are we? Big up D&D Special Powers says from an Arsenal fan. It's one of my favourite YouTube channels. Well, thank you. That's very, very kind of you to say. That's very, very kind. Nice to hear nice things. Kevin Gonzalez has said Man United will lose. Let's hope so. Onana will possibly give away because he will be daydreaming and distracted that he'll be late for his flight to the AFCON. I love the scenario you're painting there. I mean, for Onana, look, do you know my worry with Onana? I watch this guy play and I'm not impressed at all. You know when every goalkeeper has their day? I don't know if anyone remembers Newcastle coming to Spurs a few years back and Tim Krul turned into prime Peter Schmeichel. Don't know if anyone remembers that. I think he made something like 24 saves or something on the day. I just got this feeling Onana's going to be that guy or dreadful today. So we'll see. We'll see. Yes, quite simply. Yes. Bobby has said, Sav, I went to watch the commentary Leicester game yesterday and I was blown up. I love Callum O'Hare. Bobby, I love Callum O'Hare. I would take him in our squad. I think he's a fantastic little player. Just in that whole, he's like a James Maddison for me. He's like a James Maddison. I'd love to fill out. I'd love an Eze or a Lise, but if you haven't got the money for that, I'd love a little player like that. Yeah. I'd take him. Really good player. Coventry have got a few good little players, actually. And Mark Robbins has done, is Mark Robbins, isn't it? Has done a wonderful job there over the years. Done a really, really good job. Bill said in his 25-minute cameo, De Bruyne reminded me why I love the game. Listen, this is what you pay to watch, right? You do. This is what football fans pay to watch. Yeah, you can have players that run around and work hard and kick people. But listen, the reason why I say they're going to win the league every year, Bill, is because they've got players, not just him. They've got so many big guns. And when I look at Rodri, De Bruyne, Haaland, Foden, by the way, how good is Phil Foden? I've never seen a player, an English player, receive the ball like he does on the half turn and run at people. He's a joy to watch. Janet has just said they're awful. I don't know who we're talking about there. Let's just say yes. Gaz has said Spurs fans are way too overconfident for my liking. I agree. Man United against Spurs at Old Trafford always turns up. Look, Gaz, I've said it before. I won't drain the point here, but I do feel that listen, it's good to be positive. It is good to be positive, right? But I also feel that I've heard this every game this season that we're just going to smash everyone. And inevitably we don't. I would love to today, but we'll see. BVB David has said probably between Spurs and Villa for top 4 spot. Well, yeah, I mean, look, it depends. Do Arsenal continue what they're doing at the moment? Or do they get their form back? I think they're too good a team to just continue losing. I do. I think that they will turn it round. As I've said before, the other two are gone for me. City and Liverpool will always be ahead of everyone else. They've got the deepest squads. They've got the better players. And the others can't compete, in my opinion. Competing in a one-off game, a lot different to doing it over 38 games. Big up Cockeye TV. Said, oi, oi, Savaloy. God, do you remember? You reckon how many times I heard that when I was at school? Z Gould has said, Savva, the statement you made before when you compare Chelsea to Spurs. The thing is, hang on. When I compare Chelsea to Spurs, the thing is, Pochettino is not a good manager and they don't have a system. I didn't compare Chelsea to Spurs. I don't think I compared Chelsea to Spurs at all. What I said was they're neck and neck in the form table. I think there's a lot of differences between Tottenham Hotspur and Chelsea. I mean, when we're saying that Pochettino is not a good manager, I mean, I don't think we can say he's not a good manager. He did some great things at Spurs, but was it right time, right place, right players? You know, give him time. Let's see what he does. But I don't think I compared Chelsea. Well, I know I didn't compare Chelsea and Spurs. Lee MVP Roberts has said, don't think Villa need to sell until the summer, depending on Champions League football. Yeah, I haven't seen anything, but I'd like to see where this has all come from. It's profit and sustainability regulations. FFP is different. I hate FFP. Just scrap it. It's just pointless. I don't know who it's actually helping, if I'm brutally honest. Jolien Hunt, big up to you, sir. Very long time. He said, Savva, long time no see. Hope you're doing well. My concern with your team today isn't necessarily the back line, but the midfield. Sarr is a miss and Johnson is incredibly wasteful. I don't disagree with you. The midfield for me has been my issue for a while now. I think teams are having it very easy against our midfield three, and we're not holding on to the ball. Whether it's Skip, Højbjerg, Lo Celso, Kulik, we're giving the ball away a lot in midfield. So we'll see. We'll see. Oh no, he's better than Solomon. He's much better than Solomon. What are we doing here? That's the what. Here you go. You've just won worst opinion of the morning. That is terrible. Chances created as a fluke stat. It can be, but you know, you could just listen. I don't need to rewatch the Man City Newcastle game to see how many chances Man City had in that game, right? It just is what it is. Good morning, Chris. How you doing, bro? Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. Disney Gal 61 has said Premier League clubs will find out tomorrow if they've breached FFP rules. Villa, Palace, and a lot of others will potentially have to sell players. Sean Butler did a program on it last night. Yeah, I guess it won't be as bad as anyone thinks, though. I mean, I can't imagine that they'll wake up and go, we need to sell Ollie Watkins. We're third in the table. Let's sell our best player. I just can't see they're going to do it. Donna Cullen's in the house with the compliment for the hair. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Big up. Ron said, you need to watch show yesterday, Savva. He explains what's happening regarding tomorrow's announcements that we'll see a list of clubs who will be FFP restricted. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Sure. Listen, we'll see what actually happens. I hear these things a lot and then not a lot actually happens with it. We'll see what happens. Who's getting injured or suspended today, if you were to guess? I don't. Someone will. You know someone's going to pick up that injury. By the way, thank you to everyone inside. There's 552 of you in here, so fantastic numbers. Only 241 likes. That's less than 50%. Let's get that to 300 right now. And thank you to the subscribers. We're only 15 away from today's target of 12,775. So please do smash that subscribe button. The link is in the chat. Some really good conversations going on in the chat today. I love it when it's like this. Game day has hit everybody. Yes. We have not had a midfielder anywhere near as good as Moussa Dembele since. This man was different. He was different. Goldbridge said Ten Hag would do a better job than Ange at Spurs. Yeah, I'll just move on from that. That feels very much to me like that's a conversation starter. I don't think it's necessarily got any weight to it. For me, yeah, I will. I'll go and watch Sean's video. I will. We'll see. Let's start seeing all these clubs sell these players then before I actually believe anything into it. But I'll go and watch his video for sure. Darren Fearon said, at Football Heritage TV, I watched the Bayern game and Dyer did not even get a chance to come on when Bayern were in control. He was in the stands. He weren't on the bench. He was on. I don't think he was on the bench yesterday. He was on the stands, wasn't he? In the stands. John said Callum O'Hare is going to be. He's a good player. I've watched him for a couple of years for Coventry. I really like him. Just wants to get on the ball, wants to make things happen. I love players like that. I think we've got too many predictable players for me. I like players like that. Jamal has said KDB always shows up in the big games, no matter what. That alone sets him apart from every other Prem player. Oh, he's different. He's different. Darren saying that Rodri and De Bruyne were very scary smooth. Rodri is so far ahead of any other player in this league at what he does. It's unreal. He is a sensational footballer. And how much did, let's have a look. How much did Man City pay for him? Anyone remember? Let's have a look. I don't think it was huge amounts in the scheme of things. Was it 65 million euros? So what, about 56 million pounds? Something like that. You think we paid that for Richarlison and Ndombele? So, I mean, great business that is. Man City are scary. Man City are very scary. But don't forget, loads of our fans wanted them in the FA Cup. Mind blown. Mind blown. Jamal said they would just pay their fine and go about their day as usual. Yeah, absolutely. Bobby has said the difference between Chelsea and us right now, we are finally going to Ange up or down over signings. So they're his signings. Poch has a zero sale of his signings and he has 140 new players he has to manage. Yeah, listen, there's huge difference to the way the clubs are run for a start, isn't there? Absolutely. But Bobby, remember this, right? If we're going to say this about Postecoglou having the final server signings, if they don't work out, no one can go and blame Daniel Levy. We can't say he wasn't backed and blame Daniel Levy. If they're his signings, he's got to make the best out of them, right? So I'm just putting that out there now, because what will happen is if it starts going wrong, people will go, oh, he didn't want Werner. All the people saying it's the best signing we could have made and he's Ange's man. If it doesn't work out, they'll start blaming Levy. Can't have it both ways. Spiky T, big up to you. I said, big up, Savva. Love your straight talk as always. Yeah, look, listen, I've never been one of those fans that could just sit here and just say everything's the best at Tottenham. We got the best goalkeeper, the best this, the best that, the best. Until we prove it, we're not. And I'd rather just be honest rather than biased. I just can't do it. I've never been that guy in anything. Cole Palmer. Yes, they've done a bit of skill, and I had to say, wow, right. Here's why I was so disappointed when we signed Brennan Johnson. Chelsea signed Cole Palmer. Aston Villa signed Diaby. West Ham signed Kudus. Newcastle signed Anthony Gordon. We get Brennan Johnson. I'm just saying, I take all of them over him. I'm just saying. Z Gould said, what are we doing here? Pochettino is not a good manager at all. Thomas Tuchel will have Chelsea in the top 5 at least this season. He hasn't deployed any players at Chelsea in a system. Z Gould, I mean, we can't just turn around and say a manager is no good. Like, this is a manager that's got to a Champions League final with Tottenham Hotspur. This is a manager that went unbeaten at Tottenham for a season at home. This is a manager that finished 2nd and 3rd respectively in the Premier League for Tottenham. Can't just say he's not good. This is where it gets silly. This is where it gets very, very silly. He's not a good manager. That's what you're saying. Do you mean what you're saying is he's not a great manager? Right? You can't just say everyone's not a good manager, or he wouldn't have managed Tottenham, Chelsea, and PSG. You can't just say they're not a good manager. That's crazy. Come on. Again, it's what I mean. It's either there or there. And you've summed up my point. There's no balance to that statement. Listen, is it fun for Spurs fans to laugh at Chelsea and what's happening? Sure. Right? That could easily change in a year or two. But does it mean I can just turn around and say every manager is bad? No. Come on. It's crazy. I still don't think he'd put in Donnelly if Kula was injured. I think if Kula was injured, you'd just see Skip and Højbjerg in there. Mr. Happy has said, what do I make of Dragashin? From what I've seen of him, he looks very good. Whenever I've watched him play, he looks cool, calm, collected. Doesn't get dribbled past, doesn't get yellow cards. Looks like a very good defender. He's still young. He's got to be given time. I think that's the key thing. He's got to be given time. Yeah, lots of talk, lots of praise yesterday from Alan McAnally, who said that Phillips was going to be a future superstar. Yeah, I'm surprised, if I'm honest, that we didn't give him 1 minute of football. I'm surprised that we didn't, but we didn't. I feel like for the last 6 months, he could have been out on loan playing 25, 30 games somewhere. But better late than never. He is doing it now. And I think he's going to be a good player. From the clips I've seen of him, he looks cool, calm, composed. He looks like he's the right build for that role as well. So, hey, Mario 2012, big up to you, has said, can't blame Levy for signings. Ange keeps saying they're all approved by him and he takes full responsibility. Agreed. He's said that, right? He's made that rod for his own back. So, yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you. I really do. Bobby Andrews has said, what I'm saying, Sav, is Ange is limited. Chelsea aren't, aside from FFP. Poch does better with a team without endless funds and building the club up for me. I rate the guy. What he did for us was amazing. Look, I guess we'll know the answer to that depending on what happens at Chelsea. And this is why I always ask for patience. I know I'm one of the very few football fans that ask for patience. And this is what I'll tell the Chelsea fans. If you sack Poch now, like some of the fans say they want to sack Poch, he's won 4 of the last 5. They want to sack him. They're sitting in European positions, right? You get a new manager in that needs another 6 months to try and implement some sort of philosophy, whatever. Doesn't do well. He gets sacked and you just keep sacking managers. If next season Poch has Chelsea in the Champions League, right? If next season they compete for the Champions League places or for the title or whatever, and they're doing well and they're in Europe, all of a sudden, everything people are saying now will be forgotten. The problem is everyone wants it right now. Chelsea is a massive build. Whether they spent $1 billion or not, you've dropped so many players into one football club in 18 months. You can't just go on then, 30 of you go together and start winning. It just doesn't work like that. And I think if we take a step back, I think we can all see that, right? I think we really, really can see that. They need any. I don't care. It's Chelsea. They're not my club, but any manager needs time. Look, Postecoglou's come in, hit the ground running. If he hadn't, we all agree at the beginning of the season, if it doesn't go well, you need time. And it has gone well. He has hit the ground running. I think when Chelsea get players back fit, they'll be even better. I think they will learn from this. I think they'll get a forward in that will score goals. They'll be better then. I think watch this space. Let's see where they are in a year's time. Watch this space because patience is needed at all football clubs. Very different when you look at Man U. The Man U manager has been there now for about 20 months. So this is his squad. This is his players. This is all his tactics. He has had 2 summers with the players. You know, so for me, I think it's all about a bit of patience, a bit of time. Then we can judge what's worked, what's not. But I know people don't want rationale. I know they don't want patience. I know they want everything right now. YouTubers love it, especially because the right now is what creates the controversy. So if I set my show tomorrow, let's say I set a show and I said, Poch is the worst manager in the world, sack him. It will get views because it's outrageous, because it's right. But if I say, give Poch time, Chelsea need patience, it doesn't get as many views because it's rational. That's the world we live in. Nick has said the point swing in today's game means it's such a big game. Absolutely, Nick. Absolutely. I mean, if you look, if Man United win this game today, they go only 5 points behind us. It means that West Ham could be 2 points behind us if they win. But again, moving the other way, we can go, we can go into 4th if we win today, depending on the score. If we win by more than 3 goals, we can go into 3rd, but we can go into 4th today. So it is a big game. It is a big game. But for me, I'll say the same thing I've said all season. This year for me was about implementing a philosophy, building a plan, putting a strategy in place. Whether we finish 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, I like what we're doing as a club. That's the important thing for me. AJ said, good morning, Savva, you big, beautiful bastard. Johnson just isn't it for me. People say give him time. He just doesn't wow me. Apparently he has all this pace, but rarely uses it. Do you know what it is for me, AJ? When people say he's young, he is, but I'm looking at his technical ability. I don't look at his technical ability and think it will all come together. I think he's going to be in his career one of these forwards that does some good things with his pace, a few good crosses, but ultimately I think he's going to be a player that is in and out of games. Every 3 or 4 games, you might get something from him. But other than that, he'll be frustrating. That's just me. It's just my opinion. I don't think you would see the top clubs would sign a player like Brennan Johnson. That's just me. Uncle Disraeli said, Poch is a good manager, just not sure he made the best decision where to go after leaving Spurs. Now, that's a better statement. That's a much better statement. I feel like Dan Juma could have been a great player for us. He got game time. I'm not sure. For me, he's the level below what we need. For me, he's the level below. I don't think he's an improvement on what we've got. But then again, I don't think many of what we've got were massively an improvement on him. So it is what it is. Z Gould said PSG had the perfect front 3 and he flopped. No, but it wasn't the perfect front 3, Z. See, this is what I mean. Right, you can have all the best players in the world. You've got to get it right. On paper, you look at Neymar, who was getting older, doesn't track back. Messi, who was 34, 35, right? And then Mbappe, it's not the perfect front three. I don't know. It's the perfect front three for selling shirts. It's the perfect front three for a dream team. It's not the perfect front three if you want to press, if you want your team to work hard, is it? So I'll not for me, mate. Not for me. I looked at that and went, I can't see them doing anything because it's not a computer game. It's not FIFA. Thank you, Mr. 420. Thank you. I do try my best. Polmeister just said, even if our signings don't work out, I think Ange will take full responsibility and cop it on the chin. I agree. I do think the difference, Polmeister, between a tantrum like Mourinho and Conte is I think Mourinho and Conte were hired to play a certain way and weren't given the players to play that way. That is the worry. But I do agree with you in principle. Potomaka said, this guy works 24/7 for us fans. Let's give him the respect and support he deserves. I mean, not quite 24/7. I think I'd cry if I did this 24/7. But yes, thank you very much. I really, really do appreciate that. AJ has said, Kenan Yildiz should be our next target when we raid Juve. The boy's going to be a superstar. Don't know too much about him, but I'll definitely go and give it a watch. Thank you. We are 10 likes away. 10 likes away from 300. Let's smash that like button. There's 562 of you in here. We should be on 400 likes, but 300 is a bare minimum. And we're only 12 away from our subscriber count for today of 12,775. So if 12 of you out of the 562 would be so kind, I would really, really appreciate that. And I've just put the link in the chat. Look, here it is. Here is the link in the chat. Just smash on that. Doesn't move you off this page. And just smash that button. It's free. Where did I get up to? Philly, I said, if Johnson was a car, I would have had there. If Johnson was a car, I would have him recalled and say I got a 40 purchase. I asked for Morgan Gibbs-White and you made a mistake. Listen, could he come good? I don't know. I just don't. Philly, when you look at a player and you just don't see it. Look at Cole Palmer, Anthony Gordon. I look at them and go, not the finished articles, but you can see it. They're dangerous. They're lively. I watch Brennan Johnson and I just think, is it an upgrade? I'm not sure it is, but that's me. Finn has said sacking managers mid-season is usually detrimental. I think unless you're right in a relegation battle and you're hoping and praying for that new manager bounce, I do agree with you. Rainman said, my biggest concern with Ange right now is that he said he would play youth, but when the opportunity arose, he has consistently avoided Phillips and Donnelly decent game time. Yeah, I think a lot of people came in. A lot of the we know Ange better than you crew came in at the beginning of the season and said he'll take the cup seriously, and then he didn't for the Fulham game. He'll play the kids. He's not scared. Then he hasn't. So, but look, it is what it is. He's doing a great job. That's all that matters. Jasmine said, I'd rather have Devine in the squad than buy one of the younger Championship midfielders we're linked with. Yeah, Jasmine, I've seen Devine. He's no Callum O'Hare, but it's whether or not Ange wants to give them a chance, as we were just talking about. I'm all for getting these young players in and giving them a chance. It appears that the manager doesn't think they're ready, but we'll see. Darren said, Savva, Alan McInally raved about Phillips yesterday. Yeah, he did. I saw that. I was watching Gillette Soccer Saturday, and yeah, he did. And I don't think it's a surprise. I think a lot of people have been wanting to see this boy get a minute in the Spurs shirt, and we never got to see it. Philly has said, what can see when you look at Chelsea is they need a striker who can put the bread in the biscuit tin. Listen. I agree. I don't think it's as bad as everyone makes out. Yes, that club has won a lot the last 20 years, and they're not what they were. But it takes time. It takes time. It's a lot of new footballers. It's a very young squad with a lot of new players. Zia said, no, Savva, don't do that. Pochettino have been given an expensive squad at Chelsea, regardless of his players or not. Expensive squad doesn't always mean this. Z, come on, let's look at this realistically. Just because they've had to pay over the odds for players doesn't mean it's necessarily going to win immediately. It's not like they've gone and bought Rodri's or Jack Grealish's or De Bruyne's. They've bought a lot of young footballers. Look at the age of their midfield yesterday. Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Gallagher, all 23 and under. Gusto's young, right? Disassi, Colwill, the goalkeeper, Cole Palmer, Broja. It's so young. So no, I think you've got to. I think, but Z again. Listen, I'm going to stop coming to you. The 1 billion is clouding people. The 1 billion. Take a step back. Whether you've spent $1 billion on those players or 500 million or 300 million, that's purely what the club can get for them. It doesn't change their ability. Jasmine has said, if we accept Johnson as a future very good rotational squad player, then it's fine. Sure, but we had a chance to get much better players. That's my worry. That was my worry at the time. It's still my worry now. Realism has said, Suarez and Neymar did all the tracking and pressing in that trio of Messi, Suarez and Neymar. Yeah, I mean, when you had that, but you got to remember, this was 2015. 16, right? This was a long time ago when Messi was a decade younger. Sorry, all of them were a decade younger, right? It's maybe it was 16, 17, but they were all a lot younger. It's just not, it's not always black and white. I think everyone thinks everything is black and white in football, and it's not. I think you need it all, don't you, Nick? I think you need it all. And again, sorry to say it, but when you look at Man City, they've not just got the best players. Their work rate and their attitude is spot on. And if you haven't got that, you don't get in a Pep Guardiola squad. It's that simple. Good morning, Richard Pugh has said, Grand Risings all. Big up Savva. Good likes already, but let's have a like party. Absolutely, with a like party. Smash that button. And if you could get everyone to get a subscriber party, we're only 12 away. So smash that subscribe button. Paul has said, Johnson is too fragile to become the player we thought we bought. He's a nice guy, but not that guy. Listen, I think I agree. For me, he's decent. He's decent. But I think I don't look at him and say, yeah, you've got it. I look at him and go, you're quick. Every now and then he puts in a nice ball. I'm not doubting that. But is it enough to scare the teams above us? Do they look at us and go, God, Spurs are serious with that signing of Brennan Johnson? I'm not sure they do. As I said, Chelsea got Cole Palmer, 10 times the player of Brennan Johnson. Yeah. Kudus, much better. Anthony Gordon, much better footballer at everything than Brennan Johnson. Simon Olschid said, people hammering Johnson need to wise up. They say we have given him time and he isn't good enough. He's still young and been injured. It's not that. It's just I just don't see it in him. I don't see the technical ability. And that's not something you learn. Your touch, your control, your movement, that you don't learn that now. You've got that or you haven't. Yeah, and technically you could see it. Watch Cole Palmer play. Technically in his feet and up there, very clever. Good IQ, but technically he's very good. Same with Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon, you can see that he was always going to be a good player, but was it the attitude? He's gone to Newcastle, the runs he makes with the ball, the driving in. I don't know, he's just different. Not every player you get is going to be brilliant. I think we need to acknowledge that. I think we really need to acknowledge that. Not worth his price value, sadly. Look, I just think we could have got better. Yeah, Z, man, it's all good, bro. It's all good. We're talking football. Absolutely. I love these. Listen, we've got to have these debates, right? The challenging debates are what make YouTube channels work. I just think when you've got an echo chamber and everyone just saying the same thing and everyone's just going, oh, it's amazing. The world's great. It's not really football chat, is it? It's just it's like a kind of self-gratification. Uber Hands said, ironically, quite a black and white statement there. Okay. Yanga said, name 6 players above the age of 27 in the Chelsea squad. Thiago Silva. How old's Ben Chilwell now? Hang on, let's have a look at the Chelsea squad. How old's Ben Chilwell? If we go Chelsea squad, what's Robert Sanchez? No, he's 26. What's that? Badiashile's 22. Ben Chilwell's 27. Reece James, he's 24. God, he's still 24. You got Thiago Silva. No, and Kunku's 26. Nicholas Jackson's 22. Raheem Sterling. There you go. So it's Raheem Sterling, Thiago Silva, and Ben Chilwell. 3 players in the entire squad over 27. Good point. Good points. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. A better player than Johnson. Better footballer. Yes, I do. Potter said doesn't have the X factor. Listen, I don't want to have a go at Brennan Johnson. He's a nice lad. Listen, he could score a hat-trick today for all we know. I just don't think that we're going to look back and go, what a top player. That's just me. Paul is coming to Savva. Do you think we need another centre-back? Or do you think we have enough? For now, I think we're okay. If you've got Van der Ven, Romero, Drago, Sheen, Royale, and Dorrington, and Davis can play, we're okay. I think when we go into Europe next season, I think you need more. You need more. You need a fourth one. And I think they'll get a fourth one. Yako has said, I think Johnson needs to work on his physicality and holding the ball up. Yeah, listen, there's a lot of room for growth there, for sure, but I just don't know if technically he's good enough for me. Rob has said, you can see now why we were supposed to have Gordon on our list. I have to admit to being underwhelmed by him at the time, but I've been proved wrong. He's in my fantasy team. I think Gordon's a fantastic player. He's a fantastic footballer, and he admitted it himself. He had maturing to do. He said it yesterday in his interview with Rio Ferdinand. He said, I probably wasn't taking on the information. I was too immature. He said, but I have now. I've grown up. And you can see it. He's a much better player now. Bill has said Thiago Silva is 61. It does feel like that. Yeah, Ben Chilwell, 27. Reece James is 24. Brennan Johnson's work rate is time to Anthony Gordon. Brennan Johnson's work rate is one of the worst bits of his game. He doesn't protect Porro at all. What are you talking about? Anthony Gordon works really, really hard. Really, really hard. Did you not watch him yesterday? Oh, that's breaking news. Cooties in the squad. Good. How fit is he? Gava said 3 times during the Burnley game, Johnson took 3 long balls out the air, first touch while at full tilt. I mean, I also saw him run the ball out of play when no one was on him, and he ain't. Gav, we can do this all day. Brennan Johnson is nowhere near the players I've just mentioned. I get it. You want to just back every signing that the club make. That's brilliant. Sure, we'll back him, but I don't think. For me, I look at him and I don't see it for me. I don't see it. Not for me. I didn't want him. Nothing's changed for me. I said this when we signed him. Still saying it now. You know, I look at a play, even like Kulu, technical. You can see the technical ability. I don't see it with Brennan Johnson for me. Brennan's first touch is very good. Not for me. Johnson is very good, just as good as Kulu. Very different footballers. He's not as good at football as Kulusevski. He's not. He's nowhere near as good as Kulusevski at football. And no, what are we doing here? What are we doing? I don't know what people are watching. I watched him try and take his man on the other day and run the ball out of play because his first touch was so poor. Yeah, you can take a few balls out of the air, but top players, they do this relentlessly. Who in here hates Cootie? Justin Mood Tasami. Oh, this guy, I know. This guy comes into my YouTube. Relentless troll, this one. Hello, Justin the troll. I don't think anyone hates Kulu. Anyone in here hate Kulu? Sorry, Romero. Anyone hate Romero? Put your hands up if you do. Yeah, I agree, AJ. It's not even close. What are we doing here? Honestly, if Brennan Johnson had signed for Arsenal, I wonder what people would be saying about him. We do this all the time. I've heard this for years with Skip. Give him a couple of years. He'll be really, really good. He's technically good. We'll see. We'll see. 2-2. Hope I'm wrong. 2-2. I've said, I don't know why I've had this 2-2 scoreline all week. I don't know why. I think it's going to be tougher than we think. But if we can come away from a win, it'll be a great result. And a win is needed. If you don't win this game, you do lose ground on those above you. You really, really do. Because let's be fair, Man City are going to win their game in hand, which will be Burnley at home. They're going to win that. Then all of a sudden they'll be 6 or 7 points clear of us if we don't win today. So look, it's not the end of the world, but I do think that it's a very important game from that point of view. If Johnson came on a free, all good. But he came with a big fee, and that makes a difference. I just think we could have done so much better. And I know people will have a go at me, but we could have done so much better. No. I'm thoroughly underwhelmed by Kulu on the right wing. Gav, if you're gonna bring what me and you talk about privately on WhatsApp onto stream, first of all, I'm really disappointed in you. Second of all, that work trying to call me out like that won't work. I don't do this stupid game, Gav. So Kulusevski, I think, is shit on the right wing. Kulusevski, when he comes into the middle, I think he's a much better footballer. I don't see him as a winger. I don't see him as a winger at all. For me, I thought he was really, really poor. I thought he was really poor in our last game. I think he's either very good in a game or very, very poor in a game. For me, I want better, but that's only me. But if we're going to do this whole you said on WhatsApp stuff, really, Gav, that's not cool, man. But cool, I'll back it. It's not a problem. Give the boy a season or 2 seasons. I mean, are we going to say that for every player we buy for £50 million? Like, when there were better players out there. Goals and assists. No one's mentioning goals and assists. Talking about being as a footballer. Goals and assists depend on what team you play in, right? So, listen. I'm not saying anyone. Sly Nell, you can like him. I think he's decent. He's okay, but I don't think he's great. I don't know why we've got to this stage now in life where if you don't think a player's brilliant, that it means you don't like him. He's okay. I just don't see him as an upgrade to anything we had. That's the problem. There's another one. You talk. I could take this seriously if you could spell properly. Unfortunately, that's not very good spelling, is it? That's our fan base. Bash young players. What are we doing, Darren? Who's bashing him, right? I just don't think he's as good as people think. Why is that bashing it? Right, the stream's got really, really silly now. We've now got the fans in that don't allow you to critique footballers. This is why we will never win things. We do not have the winning mentality. We have the don't say anything about our players mentality. But come on, man. AJ says, Savva, I'm very much the same as you. You rarely get an average performance. He's either very good or bad. Yeah. This is what I mean. And look, Kulu, for me, technically gifted. No doubt Kulu's technically gifted. I really don't like him as a winger. I don't see him as a winger. I think he's very one-dimensional. When he comes into the middle, I think there's so much more about him getting on the ball, bringing others into the game. What that means is, for me, is that when Maddison's fit, he's just nowhere near as good as Maddison at doing that job. So it's going to be very, very difficult to get them both in that team. If people want to see Johnson on the right, where does Kulu play? So here you go. I'll ask the question. Yeah, I'll ask the question. Right? When all fit, who starts on the right wing? Kulu or Brennan Johnson? Let me know in the chat. Who starts at right wing? Kulu or Brennan Johnson when all are fit? Be very interested to know your take on this. Azia said he's not shit on the right wing. I don't think he's shit. He's just not as productive in the middle. Come on, Savva. Mate, he doesn't beat a man. He doesn't scare a fullback. He cuts in left. Get the ball, cutting to the left. It's predictable. In the middle, he's got different aspects to his game. So, I mean, anyone will I've said the same thing about him the whole time. I think, look, Kulu's a good player. No one said he's not a good player. I just don't like him on the right wing. Sonny is very much the same, Savva. You rarely get an average performance. He's either very good or bad. I agree with you. Mate, you need to give him a chance. Give him a chance for what? I haven't said sell him. I just don't think he's that great. I don't know what people are listening to. Nick has said we don't really do good when spending big money. Like for as long as I remember, all our most expensive signings flop. No, Slynell, you don't. You don't have to compare winger. It depends what their role in the team is. Look at Jack Grealish at Man City. What a phenomenal little footballer Jack Grealish is. He's not in that team to score 20 goals a season. Yeah, he's not. He's in that team to draw fouls. He's in that team to hold the ball up the pitch. He's in that game to link up play. Yeah. So no, I can't speak with basic. I can't do this kind of basic. I feel like this is the conversation I would have had in the playground when I was 11. Musings of a football fan. I said it's called critical analysis. All the players have flaws and us fans are allowed to spot them. Not in here, you're not. Apparently, musing of a football fan. All I've said is I just don't think Brennan Johnson's amazing. Okay, it's just madness. It's absolutely madness. He's okay. He's all right. He's all right. I would have expected for 50 million Cole Palmer. I would have expected Anthony Gordon. I would have expected Kudus. I don't expect Brennan Johnson. That's the only thing for me. Gambling, big up to you, my friend. Hope you're well. So Johnson and Kulu after Johnson is out of breath in less than 45 minutes. See, again, it's very, very mixed already. So we asked, who would you play on the right wing when all are fit? And we've got Kulu, Neva. Depends on the opponent. Yes, it does. Absolutely. Kulu. So everyone's had a pop at me about Johnson. Then everyone's picking Kulusevski. Johnson is a championship player. I think that's a bit harsh. He's definitely not. But Kulu, Brennan Johnson, Kulu all day. Neva. Savva Brennan is a better crosser. Yeah, I agree with you. Johnson, Kulu. No, again, just not the level. Decent footballer. Again, I think it depends. What do we want? What do we want from Tottenham Hotspur? If we want the likes of Brennan Johnson and Jack Clark's, sure. If we want to go and challenge Liverpool and Man City, no. Right, that's where it's got to be. What's got to be. In one hand, I get people saying we're going to smash every team and blah, 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 and be more positive. And in the other hand, it seems like we just want to sign players who might come good. But it's up to you. Cambodia says, Savva, there's a difference between you not liking Kulu and I didn't say I don't like him. Oh my God, I didn't say I don't like him. I don't like him on the right. I think in the middle he's decent. He's looked much better in the middle than he has on the right wing. Yeah, not being able to criticise a player is like going to your regular cafe and the food is below par and you just pay and can't say anything. Honestly, it's madness. And it's always the same people, Jay Kismet, that don't listen. It's the same people that it must be hard work having a proper football conversation with them in the pub because you can't say anything about a Spurs player. Every Spurs player is amazing to these people, but then hold them to that account, win everything. If they're all that amazing, win everything. Spiky has said Kulu doesn't have a right foot to be good on the right wing. The cut onto the left that won't work. You should have bought Grealish. Oh, Grealish is a superb footballer. That's a big shot. He's a fantastic player. Sipper Mandler, you can see it. Just watch Cole Palmer, his technical ability, driving at players, his passing. This is a good footballer. Good footballer. Yeah, I think if that's the only way you can compare, listen, centre forwards, sure. That's their only game. But there's more to it than that, isn't there? Agreed. Who would I want at striker and left wing today? I don't think he's got any option. I think it's got to be Richie and Werner. Richie up top and Werner left. I think it's got to be right. I don't really see any other options, if I'm going to be brutally honest. Now, when everyone's fit, I fully expect it will be Werner, Richie. I think he'll go Kulu. I think it'll be Werner, Richie, Kulu, and then Maddison, Bissouma, Bentancur. If everyone's fit, that's what I think he will do. We'll see. We'll see. Absolutely. Yeah, Sonny may be a bit inconsistent. He gets the majority of our goals, but he's not getting younger. Listen, yeah, look, he's not getting younger, and you've got to start to look behind that. Sonny's the best striker, best attacking option we've got by a country mile, him and Maddison. Behind that now, I think we've got to start getting a bit of quality in there. Get a bit of quality in there. Savva, the lad can finish. Who are we talking about? I don't know who you're talking about. Is it Cole Palmer are we talking about? Let me know who you're talking about there. See, this is what we do, right? You've just been bigging up Brennan Johnson and then say Palmer is overrated. I mean, I can't help when I got comments like I don't know what to say. If anyone watches Cole Palmer and thinks Brennan Johnson is better, I don't know what we're doing here. Pack it up. We may as well all go home. Absolutely crazy fault there. Richard Pugh, big up Richard, has said, my hope right now is we get the naming rights done before the transfer window opens in the summer. There is going to be loads of opportunities to get Ange's top targets, but it needs to be done early. Top targets, that's what we need to see, right? That's what we need to say. Phil Foden by a country mile. Phil Foden's one of the best players in the Premier League. He is so good. He is different. He is just ridiculous as a footballer, Phil Foden. To come through at Man City, break in, be a regular in the first team, all the players that were in front of him, to have won what he's won at that age, to have played as many as he had. He's 23 and he's won 16 trophies in his career, playing, scoring, assisting. He is superb. He's a superb footballer. Come on, Stu. He's a superb footballer. Listen, I love Palmer. Still a lot younger, but Foden's just different class for me. Aquasub said players aren't there to just get cuddles and kisses. They're there to play and to be this. Unfortunately, we got fans that just want to wrap everyone in cotton wool, and you can't say anything. But what I love is they'll say players like Brennan Johnson are great, and then call Cole Palmer overrated. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. Ian said, looks like Skippy and Cess will survive another transfer window. They're English. Homegrown, they're going to survive. They're going to survive. Colin said, did you say the same about Bale when it took him almost 2 years to play in a winning team? No, because you could watch Gareth Bale and see the quality the boy had in his feet. When people like you do, I don't understand. What has Gareth Bale and Brennan Johnson got to do with each other? Is it because they're Welsh? Gareth Bale, I watched at Southampton and went, yeah, wow, you can play. I've never seen Brennan Johnson and gone, wow. There's a huge difference. It's like the people that keep saying, Dane Scarlett, oh, did you say this about Harry Kane? Not every Harry Kane is going to turn out to be a Harry Kane, right? Harry Kane's an anomaly. Gareth Bale turned out to be one of the best players in world football. So I don't get this. I don't get this at all. It doesn't make sense for me. By this saying, every player we sign is going to go on and be as good as Gareth Bale. Is that what you're saying? Look at Brian Hill. Brian Hill's been at this club how many years? I heard the same thing about Brian Hill. Give him a chance. You could see he wasn't good enough. I heard this about Skip. I heard this about Sissoko. I've heard this about Harry Winks. I heard this about Lamella. I've heard this about Eric Dyer, Ben Davis, Emerson Royale, Sessegnon. We do it with every player. We get these comparisons that don't make sense. They don't make sense. It's like me saying right now, oh, Valise, oh, he's going to be like Harry Kane. You know what I mean? Like, where does it come from? It's hope. It's hope. It's not reality. And I try and bring the reality to the scenario. Could Brennan Johnson go on and be as good a player as Gareth Bale? No, not for me. Not for me in any way, shape or form. He hasn't got the skill set Gareth Bale's got. Gareth Bale is one of the most accomplished dribblers of the ball I've seen. Gareth Bale, his free kick technique was brilliant. His crossing was brilliant at Southampton. Yeah? Not for me. Not for me in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, Foden is he's different. He's different. There's a reason they win leagues. There's a reason they win leagues, right? They've got top players everywhere. All right, that's what you need to win it. Yeah, agree, AJ. So Collins Cross, that's not even remotely the same. You could see Bale was fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean. I don't know where these comparisons come from. Good morning, Phil P. Good morning to you. Hope you're well. Absolutely smash those likes up, people. We're only 7 subscribers away from today's total. Look at that. People have been very, very generous today. Look, 12, 7, 6, 8, 7 away. We're going to end the show at 10 to 12 UK time. So we're going to end the show in 6 minutes time. Oh my gosh. What are you again, I can't speak to silly. I can't speak to children like this. The Man City dick riding. Oh, that guy's got to grow up. John, mate, it's mental. It's absolutely mental. I'll ask this, right? I'm not going to use Brennan Johnson as an example because it will sound like I'm picking on him. All these players that I've seen it for the last 3-4 years. I've seen Ollie Skip. He's going to be a future captain. He's brilliant. He's not. Imagine Ollie Skip played for Arsenal. We would be laughing. We would be laughing at them. Phil, what do you think of Andrew's comment saying we're in a title race? He can say all he wants, but then if we're in a title race and we don't finish anywhere near winning the title, he's failed, right? Isn't he putting himself in a bind with that one? He can say we're in a title race. If we lose today and Liverpool win their game in hand, they're 9 points ahead of us. That's not a title race. So we'll see. For me, Phil, I try and keep level-headed, mate. I don't go crazy. Let's see. In 8-9 games' time, if we're within 3 or 4 points of the top 2, sure. Let's see. A long way to go. Yeah, absolutely. You have to agree they're all world-class because otherwise you get this. Who's destroying him? Who's destroying him? I've said I think he's fine. He's decent. I just don't think he's got that quality in his feet. Colin, you're one of those fans. The reason why Spurs don't win things. You think every player is brilliant. There's a reason we don't win things. Madness. I've watched Foden at top since coming on the scene. Top player. Shame he will not leave City. Oh God. Listen, they're not going to let him go. And if they do, that's 100. Like they're not letting him go. Agreed. Foden is different gravy. I mean, when we're going to start talking about people like Foden, I just don't know. Look, Colin, stop. You did compare him with Bale. You said to me, "What are you saying the same about Bale?" So you've compared them. They're not the same player, Colin. They're not the same player. Listen, if he turns out to be brilliant for us, great. I don't look at him and go, "Wow." This isn't an 18-year-old that's just burst onto the scene. I've watched him play for Wales, watched him play enough for Nottingham Forest. He just doesn't really set the world alight for me. I think every 3 or 4 games he'll get a goal or he'll get an assist, but I don't. If I'm a fullback, I don't mind playing against Brendan Johnson. There you go. I'll put it that way. They've got a 65 million Ollie Skip. If he played for them, people would be laughing. Yeah, Chris, you can't talk to stupid. You can't. You can't. John James, big up John. Always in the chat. Always very nice to talk to. Said incredible takes. Perspective seems to be based on fans' ability to criticise on fan channels. Make some feel smart or somehow important. Madness. John, there's some crazy things that are said. There really, really are crazy things that are said. I get the need to just want to praise every Spurs player, but it's not realistic. He's a phenomenal footballer. He's a phenomenal footballer. Nacho17 is a United fan. He thinks our high line will get exposed. Nacho, win, lose or draw. Promise me you'll come into my show tonight and still talk to us. I love this. I love the banter between fans, but normally the fans come in and then when they don't beat us, we don't see them for weeks on end. I am going to end the show there. Maurice has said the Skip to be future captain came from within the club. Obviously, they've seen something in him. Maybe hasn't. Yeah, but the thing is, Maurice, fans jump on it and don't actually use their own their own eyes to assess the situation. Yeah. Anyone who watched Skip from a young age could see he wasn't that good. Like, he's a very average midfield player with no real standout aspects. Tony Rodriguez said, yeah. I mean, look, I saw what he said. Cool. If he's saying we're in a title race, he's saying we're in a title race. Not for me to say anything. I don't think we are. But it is what it is. Guys, girls, I am going to leave the show there. Phil Coy said, big game today. I mean, look, I do think City will leave the league comfortably. Haaland come, but I don't think seconds out. I just still don't think we're anywhere near as good as Liverpool either. I think they've got players for days. Listen, if we finish second, phenomenal. As I said, I'll let you guys get carried away with this, and then we'll have another chat in the summer. Big up to you. Yeah, I heard what he said. Right, this guy. Anyone agree this guy needs to go? He's just always a troll in here. See you later, mate. I've got bored of people like that. See you later. Yeah, I agree. We will finish where we finished this season. We're in transition. It's about managing expectations. I absolutely agree with you, which is why I can't do the this. I can't do it. Big up to you all. Listen, we'll be back at 3:30 p.m. for a watch along. So in about 3 hours and 40 minutes, we'll be back for a live watch along. Then we've got the Spurs review tonight at 9:30. Let's hope that we are talking about 3 points for Spurs tonight and not Spurs doing what we did at Brighton. Come on, Spurs. Big up to each and every one of you. Super chat here that I've missed from Martin Knightsbridge. Thank you very much. Said, morning, me old cock sparrow. Hope you're a good mate. Good morning, Martin. You've been so generous the last few weeks. Thank you so much to you. Thank you for always being there as well. Really do appreciate that. Big up to all of you. We will see you at 3:30. Take care, everybody. And as always, come on, you Spurs.